A lot of people love checking out high-end products, but I think down-to-earth, entry-level audio gear is also an essential category on our channel. If it's an affordable product and even comes as a special bundle set, it's even more popular. Today, what I'm going to show you is the Audiolab 9000A, which is a DAC integrated amplifier, and the other component that pairs perfectly with it, like a matching suit, is the 9000 CDT, which is a CD transport. Together, they make a complete audio set. Of course, if you're into streaming, there's also the 9000. As for the 9000N, I've already tested it before. If you're interested in revisiting that, you can check it out on the screen above. In today's video, I'm mainly going to test these two units with you. Just because there's a bundle deal doesn't mean you should rush in. You still need to see how they sound, what materials they're made of, and really understand them before making a move. So without further delay, let's try out this value for money flagship set from Audiolab together. Hello everyone, I'm Kwok Yan. Welcome to feversound.com. Today, the product we're going to test together is the 9000A integrated amplifier from UK brand Audio. Before we officially introduce it, just a quick reminder, if you want to see more AV equipment tests, tutorials, and the latest market news, remember to subscribe for free to our feverSound YouTube channel. And don't forget to hit the bell next to the channel so you'll get notified whenever there's a new video. Let's start with the CD transport. You can't really say it's useless. Over the past year or two, more people have gotten back into playing CDs. Why is that? Is it just my imagination? What do you all think? Yes or no? Okay, so there's a manual, some accessories, a 13 amp UK power cable, and a remote control. The buttons feel pretty good, not too heavy. The CD transport itself is a bit heavier than I expected. Next up, let's look at this one. Now for the amplifier, again, there's a manual, an accessory box, another 13 amp power cable, and an identical remote control. Of course, the amplifier comes with a transformer. Alright, so that's the unboxing of the equipment. Alright, let's take a look at the back of the unit. First, on the left side of the 9000 CDT, there's the IEC power socket, voltage selector for 220 to 240 volts, a power switch, trigger in and out, and a USB port A, which is probably for connecting a USB drive to play files. For digital outputs, there's an RCA SP-DIF digital output and a Toslink optical digital output. Seems like there aren't too many connections here, but that's fine. The amplifier has more to look at. Now for the 9000A amplifier, on the left side, it's also got an IEC power socket, voltage selector for 220 to 240 volts, and a power switch, just like the other one. The speaker terminals have enough space for you to plug in banana plugs or spade connectors, no problem. There's an antenna here, and below that, there's a USB port B, which lets you connect to a computer or other streaming devices. Since this unit has a built-in DAC, it comes with several digital inputs, 4 in total, 2 Toslink optical inputs, and 2 RCA SP-DIF digital inputs. And here's something worth mentioning. It has a set of balanced stereo inputs. Then, there's a pre-out and a set of main-in inputs, though those are only available as RCA. That's fine. Finally, it has 3 sets of single-ended stereo analog inputs. There's also a phono input and a ground port for connecting a turntable. That basically covers everything here. Don't think that just because this is a DAC amplifier, there's nothing you can adjust. Actually, there are a lot of settings you can tweak. Alright, let's select traditional Chinese, and the device will automatically switch the language. Things like the 12-volt trigger out, and all those options can be set up as well. As for the screen display, right here, this is what you'll see when you're playing music. So, does it have those analog style meters? Like these kinds of meters here? You can choose which one you want. As for the digital meter, this is what it looks like. The input sensitivity can be adjusted independently for each analog input. There's also a plus or minus 6 decibel tone filter, so you can pick whichever sound you prefer. The other options are all here for you to check out. You can see there are many different input options. And on the front panel, there's also a headphone output, 6.35mm. As you can see, the CD player just has the disc tray, and then there's just one button and a power switch, no other buttons. Of course, this isn't a touchscreen, so actually a lot of the settings have to be adjusted using the remote control. What can you control? Well, for my source, since it has a CD player and also lets you connect a USB at the back to play songs from a USB drive, the controls are really simple. Press once to play, press again to skip tracks, and just turn the knob. That's all there is to it. Alright, let's check the disc reading time. The microphone is placed very close to the disc tray when it's operating, so you'll hear the sound much louder and more clearly. Keep that in mind. Because if you place it too far away, then none of the machines will make any sound. Let's turn it on.
Blue Valley.
That's all there is to say about Cassidity. Let me give a simple introduction to the Audio 9000A flagship integrated amplifier. Let's look at the basic specs first. The 9000A is a Class AB amplifier with an 8 ohm load. It delivers 100 watts per channel, and with a 4 ohm load, the output power goes up to 160 watts. As for the internal DAC, it uses the Sabre ESSES 9038 Pro, a 32-bit DAC chip. It supports up to 32-bit 768 kHz PCM signals and up to DSD 512. It also supports MQA and Roon. In terms of wireless connectivity, it supports Bluetooth 5.1 and is compatible with aptX, aptX HD, AAC, and LDAC decoding, so the wireless audio quality is quite good. Additionally, this unit features a true preamp with a preamp gain of 6 decibels. For the power supply inside the chassis, it uses a 320 volt ampere toroidal transformer. The capacitors reach up to 60,000 microfarads, and the size is as shown in the picture. The weight is 9.4 kilograms. To briefly mention, the 9000 CDT, which also belongs to the 9000 series, is a pure CD transport with only digital output. As for the CD's optical and mechanical structure, it is also installed on a separate board that is shielded by a battery. It also has its own dedicated power supply, which is a toroidal transformer. To reduce timing distortion, that is, jitter, a set of temperature-compensated precision oscillators, TCXO, has been added as the main clock. The size is also as shown in the picture, and the weight is 5.74 kilograms.
On the left is the CD player, and on the right is the integrated amplifier. Now looking back, it's at 25.5 degrees. As you can see, the amplifier has already been running for 3 hours, and the temperature is... Normally, you can sense that the internal temperature is 37 degrees, which is not bad. But even so, it hasn't even reached 40 degrees yet, so you can't really call it hot. The amplifier is still stable under these conditions. As for the CD player, there's even less to worry about. The hottest part is just the display, and that's only 31 degrees. Of course, on top of the amplifier, there are actually ventilation holes. It's the same for everyone. You can see that when you set it up, you need to leave some space above the top of the unit to allow for heat dissipation.
Alright, so now for recording 6, this is the Audiolab 9000A and 9000 CDT. This combo is already a matched set, so there's nothing particularly special that needs further introduction. The source is a CD, the 9000 CDT, which outputs digitally and then connects directly to the 9000A for decoding and amplification as an integrated amplifier. So next, for the speakers, for the pairing, I chose this one. It's been a long time since we've seen it, the PROAC Tablet 10 Signature. Actually, both JBL and PROAC pair well. The 4429 also matches nicely and sounds pretty good, but I haven't brought out this pair of Tablet 10s in a long time. Honestly, I think in the future, even Hong Kong audiophiles might not get to see this brand very often, so I'm using it for this recording. For the CD player, I'll be playing physical discs, not streaming. The first disc is this one, Eva Kathy. Bruce Alley. Basically, this is an American pressed CD.
My man don't love me and treats me so mean. No, you're gonna drive me away.
To play is this one, Mizuku, a Japanese female jazz vocalist. Not only is her performance outstanding, but the recording quality is also excellent because it's produced by Ultra Art Record. That means it was fully supervised by Reiji Asakura and Chojin Nan, so...
I can hardly speak, and they seem to weary out together, dancing cheek to cheek. Can't take my eyes off of you. I love you, baby, and if it's quite all like I need you.
Since we've listened to a lot of female vocals, let's switch to a male voice, Tamaki Koji. This is a live recording, an MQA CD from 2020. At that time, it was during the pandemic, so the live performance was done without any audience present. It's pretty hard to find these audiophile discs on streaming platforms, like those from FIM. For a period, FIM released a lot of XR CDs. They're just regular CDs, but the detail and dynamics are really beautiful. They come in these kinds of pouches to hold the CDs. Of course, some people wonder whether they can stand the test of time. I want to say, has this disc been around for 20 years? Well, this pouch is perfectly fine, and my disc itself is also in perfect condition. Alright, let's talk about the sound. In the past, Audiolab's sound, the so-called British sound, was known for its darker, heavier vocal tones. But actually, modern Audiolab has changed a lot. Even in their flagship series, they've maintained that musicality characteristic of the British sound, but now it's much more neutral and balanced than before, not leaning to one side. Especially in the flagship series, the sound performance can fully meet today's demands for audio system sound quality. It's clearer and offers much higher resolution. So, when it comes to handling large-scale music like orchestral pieces, the layering and detail in the sound really surpass a lot of equipment in a similar price range. The power is more than sufficient. Of course, when an amplifier is driving speakers with multiple drivers, the demand is even greater. But even if you use an amplifier to drive a small speaker in a slightly larger room, the requirements for the amp are still quite high. This time, whether pairing with the 4429 or the Tablet 10 Signature, when playing music with a grander scale, the sound is always ample and sufficient. Calm and composed. As for the 9000 CDT, its soundstage, analytical ability and detail are all handled quite well. More importantly, it doesn't produce any noise, or rather the noise control is just right. It does exactly what a CD transport is supposed to do. Alright, so after praising its various strengths, are there any shortcomings? Actually, both units don't have any major issues overall. The only area I think could be improved is the remote control. Because the remote can control 3 different devices, but you have to press a button on the remote to switch functions. So, when you're listening to a CD, sometimes the simplest actions like skipping tracks or adjusting the volume require you to press an extra button to switch the remote's control to another device. It's a bit inconvenient. Additionally, the CD transport only supports file formats at 44.1 and 48 kHz, and once the signal enters the machine, it will be converted to 44.1 kHz before output. So, even though it does support these file formats, its flexibility in use isn't that high. But aside from these 2 points, when it comes to the features, sound quality, and price of this set, I really don't think there's anything else to complain about, especially since the 9000A is actually an all-in-one product. You just add whatever source you want to connect, that's it. Whether you're streaming, playing vinyl, CDs, or connecting your computer, TV, or game console, it's all very easy. The decoding also does its job perfectly. But what really stands out is the amplifier section. In today's market, at this price point for audio equipment, the competition is extremely fierce, and there are many new brands with a dizzying array of specs and features. But if what you need is to get back to basics, a functional, easy-to-use Class AB integrated amplifier with enough power, this might actually be better than those other flashy devices. It stands the test of time, and it also gives you more flexibility when it comes to matching speakers. Especially now, with this package price, it's even more attractive. In these uncertain economic times, everyone still needs to buy things, but if you want something affordable and high in value for money, this audio set is really worth taking a closer look at. Alright, that's it for now. If you're interested, make sure to check the video description to see how you can get the offer, find out the price, and you can also go for a listening test. That's it for today's video. If you enjoy our videos, please give us a like. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, remember to subscribe, and after subscribing, don't forget to hit the bell next to the channel so you'll be the first to get notified when we have new videos. The second one, Enigma. This is also a really old model. I don't even know which version it is actually, but its music sounds pretty good. It's relaxing for the nerves, a bit psychedelic, and you can also test the bass with it. It's pretty good. Alright, so today I just picked one to listen to. As soon as I played it, the Pro APP's separation sounded especially nice and the mid-high frequencies were really attractive. That kind of appeal is back again. Of course, since I'm used to listening to big speakers, suddenly switching to something about the size of 3 to 5 centimeters, there are definitely some limitations. But small speakers have their own way of listening, and big speakers have their own fun too. That's all. So for small speakers, I picked one, which is the upward-facing The Son of LS35A. As for this album, Asia Babu, right? It really plays very enjoyably, quite outstanding actually, so I picked a few tracks for everyone to listen to. Well, as for the last album, this one probably doesn't need much introduction. Please try to turn up the volume. This phrase actually isn't written on the cassette. In fact, on the famous tape, this line is completely missing. So you can't turn up the volume on the tape. That's why only when you listen to the CD or the vinyl can you really crank up the sound and push your system.